What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. Okay, so President Trump is talking about this $2,000 tariff rebate that will go out to the American people. He's mentioning it again. And so every time he talks about it, we will report on it on this channel because I want you guys to understand, look, when it comes to politicians, they say a lot of things. But the problem is these politicians are out there saying things, and then when they don't deliver, the American people aren't holding them accountable. And so that's why they feel that they can just say whatever. And so we're going to listen to President Trump talk about the $2,000 tariff rebate, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the possibilities of this happening. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, before I play the clip, I want you guys to let me know in the comments below, do you think in 2026, because that's what they're talking about now, the president said it won't happen in 2025, so in 2026, do you think we're going to see this $2,000 rebate check? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, let's go ahead and play the clip. Here we go.
Next year is projected to be the largest tax refund season ever, and we're going to be giving back refunds out of the tariffs because we've taken in literally trillions of dollars, and we're going to be given a nice dividend to the people. In addition,
okay, so I just want to stop it there, just because, and he said this in the past. They've brought in trillions of dollars from tariffs. Okay, so tariff revenue is what he's alluding to, because he's talking about they're going to have enough money to send out to the American people. So they're bringing in trillions of dollars, which is not true. I think records show it's around $200 billion. That's how much they've been able to bring in this year in, with tariff revenue. And so it's nowhere near trillions of dollars. And if he's talking about sending out $2,000 stimulus checks, the problem with sending out $2,000 stimulus checks is if you've only brought in about $200 billion and you want to send out stimulus checks, it's probably going to cost $300 to $400 billion or more. Okay, because we don't know we don't know exactly who's going to qualify for these stimulus checks. So we can take the low number of 300 billion, or we can go even as high as 600 billion, but it's going to cost more than the tariff revenue coming in. And so when you're listening to the president talk about we've brought in trillions, show us the proof. Where are the receipts? Show us the trillions of dollars that you brought in as a result of tariff revenue. It's just not there.
to reducing debt, as you know, I inherited a lot of debt, but it's peanuts compared to the kind of numbers we're talking about. So we're going to be making a dividend to the people. And additionally, we're going to be able to reduce debt. And
so he's saying two things. We're going to have stimulus checks, $2,000 stimulus checks going out to the American people, and we're going to be able to pay down our national debt. And as we stated, $200 billion. That's what we're looking at right now. So you have $200 billion. It would cost, let's say, $400 billion for stimulus checks, and then you want to pay down the national debt. You don't have the money to do that. It just doesn't work. And so we're listening to the president right now say something that is not possible. And Congress, for the most part, they know it isn't possible. That's why they're not getting on board. That's why you don't see these politicians introducing. I think one politician, Senator Hawley, introduced a bill, and that was a $600, some type of tariff rebate, $600, not $2,000, but he introduced that. But it hasn't gone anywhere. You don't hear any other Congress people out there saying, yes, we're going to author these, a bill for a $2,000 stimulus check. You don't see that. You don't hear about that. Why? Because they know it doesn't work. The math doesn't make sense.
As time goes by over the next 2, 3, 4 years, those numbers are going to go up. And I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay, because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous, that you're not going to have income tax to pay. Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low, much lower than it is now.
And so the president's making another big claim there. You're not going to have to pay income tax anymore. With all this tariff revenue, trillions of dollars that's coming in, you're no longer going to have to pay income tax. It's just, like I said, the math isn't there. It doesn't show. Now, when we're talking about tariffs, another thing that we need to understand, if the plan, because part of what President Trump has said when it comes to tariffs, one of the things that he wants to do is he wants to, have these manufacturing companies in the U.S. again. And so let's just say we're in a situation where we can bring back manufacturing in the U.S. So a lot of these products that we're buying from other countries, we're no longer going to be buying them from other countries because we have the factories in the U.S. Sure, that would help our economy out, but it's a huge investment for these companies. And guess what? Tariff revenue would go down as a result of that. Because if you have manufacturing in the U.S., you don't have to buy products from other countries anymore. And if you're not buying a lot of these products from other countries, that revenue, the trillions of dollars that he's talking about that's coming in, it's not going to be coming in. So, and we know, we already said it's about $200 billion. That's what they've been able to collect in tariff revenue this year. That $200 billion will no longer be $200 billion anymore. That will go down. And so if that number goes down, and then you're talking about you want to pay, send out the $2,000 stimulus checks, and then you also want to have money to pay down our national debt, where that tariff revenue is going to change. It's not going to be as much anymore. And then you're talking about people don't have to pay income taxes anymore as a result of the tariff revenue, but you don't have much tariff revenue anymore because now you have a lot of manufacturing in the U.S. So it all just doesn't make sense. And so I just wanted to show you that, yes, the president is still talking about a $2,000 stimulus check. However, Congress isn't talking about a $2,000 stimulus check. So if Congress doesn't start talking about a $2,000 stimulus check, it's just not going to happen. Even if we're looking into the future of 2026, it's still not going to happen if you don't have Congress moving on legislation and passing legislation to send out stimulus checks. And right now, Congress is saying any money that we receive, which at this point, we have to understand we're running a deficit. We run a deficit every year, which means we spend more money than we take in. And so we don't have money left over. Even with the tariff revenue coming in, we don't have money left over. And so Congress they don't even have the option to say, well, you know what? We can pay down our national debt with this tariff revenue, or we can send out stimulus checks. They don't even have the option because that money is already spent. It's already gone. The only way you can send out stimulus checks is by borrowing the money. And you have Congress people that are just not going to, at least in leadership right now, they're not going to vote for borrowing more money to provide stimulus checks. It's just not going to happen. So I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.